LOP in the building. My life been a movie, I should've filmed it. Nicely with the pen game. Pops taught me the spit game. Get your cameras ready, we heavy catch when I'm in frame. Produk, opinionated, but I'm coming through smooth with it. I be kicking facts, you could Google it. Run a block to the booth, hear the truth, just another lane lock. I'm a Crown Heights legend, still repping the same block. Whoa.
You are now listening to the Life of Produk podcast.
Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Produk. You are now locked into the Life of Produk podcast. This is episode 11, first episode of 2021. We fucking made it. You know what I mean? Pat yourself on the back. Congratulations, man. I don't know how you guys spent your New Year. My shit was great. This is actually the first New Year's I've spent with my siblings in a long time. I think, matter of fact, I think it's been years, yo, since we all like got together for New Year's, but the shit was lit. There was a lot of hot wings, you know what I'm saying? A lot of shit talking. Shouts out to my sister, dog. A lot of coquito. It was great. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that in 2021, as a whole, all of us, we could leave all of that bullshit from 2020 back there, because we don't fucking need none of that. I was reading online. I actually read this on social media. I haven't read it yet on an actual, like a CNN or a Fox News or whatever. They're saying that there was a UFO sighting in Hawaii. Listen, dog, that's the last fucking shit we need. We don't need that. Whatever. Listen, I don't know what the fuck brought them here. I don't know if they want an iPhone 12. I don't know if they're here because or whatever they think is lit. Take that shit back across the galaxy. We ain't ready for that. We are not ready for that. You know what I'm saying? But yo, boom. This is episode 11. I want to talk to y'all about being friend zone. Yeah, the fucking infamous friend zone. The friend zone is a very dark place. I don't know if you guys have ever been there. Let me tell you something, right? And from my experiences in life, the average dude has been friend zoned at least one time. At least one time. And the average dude is going to lie about that shit. Man, we lie about a lot of shit, right? And a lot of men will lie like, nah, I ain't never got friend zone. Fuck that shit, son. Don't believe that shit, dog. I know for a fact a lot of y'all got friend zone. And I was speaking from experience because, yo, it happens. You know what I'm saying? And the funny shit about being in the friend zone, sometimes you might end up staying friends with that person, or maybe you won't, you know what I'm saying? And from the outside in, right? And I tell people this all the time, right? It doesn't always pay to be the good guy. It doesn't. Like, if you ever notice the asshole always wins, you know what I'm saying? They always say, like, good guys finish first, right? Like, I've over the years, like, I'm a Gemini, and I tell people all the time, I have two sides. I'm not two-faced. I'm a very real straightforward person. I think that's my problem. I'm too straightforward with a lot of shit. But then me being a Gemini, I have two sides. I got the cool, chill ass side, but then I got that asshole side. And that asshole side, and I'm not like I've always when I was like younger in high school, like, you know what I mean, girls didn't really like me like that, you know what I mean, kind of like the butterfly shit. I was a fucking caterpillar. I know that sounds corny, but I was on some caterpillar shit, broke out my shell. I got in my bag on some fly shit. So at first, girls didn't like me. I got older, you know what I mean, women kind of flocked towards me at a certain point, and still somewhat do. But I've noticed they like both sides, but I've noticed the asshole side of me for some reason is the one that keeps them fucking going. And I don't know what it is. But like I said, a lot of nice guys, they finish last. The asshole always gets the W for some reason. And I'm not saying the asshole is a bad person, but the asshole tends to get that W. So speaking on being friend zoned and shit like that, yes, the average man has been friend zoned, and the average man is going to fucking lie about that shit. I don't care. I don't care if you short, tall. I don't care if you broke, rich, you got bread. It don't fucking matter. Now, on average, the dude who's dripped the fuck out, dressing nice with money, got his shit together, he's on average going to get more women than a broke dude. But broke dudes get women. They don't always keep them. You know what I'm saying? I've seen, not before I get really into the whole friend zone shit, I've seen a lot of women flock towards the dude that sit at home and play NBA 2K all day. The dude that be chilling and shit. And it's always for two fucking reasons. One, a lot of y'all women be trying to save these dudes. And don't sit here and lie to me like y'all don't. A lot of y'all be having like a false hope in some of these dudes. And hey, if you want to do that, that's cool. That has nothing to do with me. I can't tell you what to do with your life and your body. Then two, a lot of women be so busy with their careers. They might have a career, a job. They are a mother. You know what I mean? They hold down their own household. They want that dude that has nothing going on because he's available all the fucking time. And that's some shit. A lot of women are not going to tell you that. They're not going to say that shit. And this is a conversation that needs to be had, but on a larger scale. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the whole friend zone shit, yeah, I've been friend zoned twice. I was friend zoned twice. Once as an adult and once in school. But let me tell you something. If you was friend zoned in high school, unpopular opinion, that shit don't fucking count. And I don't care what nobody say. If you got friend zoned in high school and you're an adult now, dog, that shit is like catching a charge when you're underage. That shit is expunged from your fucking record. I don't care what nobody say. Yo, y'all can disagree with the kid, B. You know what I'm saying? Hit the comments or whatever when I post it. Hit my DM. We could debate on this shit. If you were friend zoned in high school, it does not count. So let me give y'all a little backstory. I had a homegirl. I haven't seen her in years, but we end up being really, really good friends or whatever. She actually helped me with some shit too. So we actually met in middle school and shit like that, because she came from, I forgot, I used to go to 391 and shit after I got kicked out of Philippa Schuyler. She came to my school, and then we ended up going to different high schools. I ended up going to Wingate for my 9th grade year, and I think she went to Clara Barton. So I had a homegirl. She was from Trinidad and shit. Really, really came from a really nice family, really nice girl. They actually lived in East New York and shit. So what happened was, let me bust it down for you. What had happened was, we met because I was really bad at algebra. So they had like a pair-on-pair tutoring program, and I took the pair-on-pair tutoring program to get my grades up, because all my other grades was great, but I was horrible at algebra. I think I told y'all this before on one of the past shows. Very bad. So she and I met her. First day I met this girl, I fell in love. I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? She had like the nice little caramel skin tone, like the Trini Henny skin tone. She had the accent. Oh my God, like on some real shit, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. But I got friend zoned, you know what I'm saying? I got friend zoned hard, hard, my G, hard. But on the great thing about it, we ended up staying friends for years, like really, really good friends for years. And I'm not gonna front. See, back then, here's the difference. Me and her meeting when we were in school, as opposed to if we met when we were adults. If we met when we were adults, I would have bagged it. I would have bagged the shit out of it. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, because you learn things. See, at that age, this is why I tell y'all, being friend zoned back then, if you was in high school, it doesn't count. And I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't count, because you are not fully mentally where you should be as a male. You know what I'm saying? Your mind there's parts of your brain that hasn't been ticked yet. You know what I mean? You ain't plugging the back of your brain. You ain't plugging the right side of your brain yet. So a lot of, and two, what women will tell you and what adults will tell you, females mentally develop faster than males. Well, physically and mentally, they develop faster than males. This is why you have so many young girls that will be more mature than a lot of males. This is why you might have young girls in their late teens, early 20s dating dudes in their 30s, because they mentally develop faster. This is why you have a lot of dudes in their 30s that will date girls in their early 20s. And I've seen this shit, because by the time they hit that certain point, mentally as a man, that girl is already there. You know what I'm saying? So she already caught up to that shit mentally. So, but then again, too, you have some males at that age, like if they're in high school, they, depending on how they were raised and the things that they've seen, they're mentally developing faster. But I strongly, wholeheartedly feel that if you was friend zoned at high school, that shit does not count. But I'm actually happy she and I had stayed friends for years, because, and I think it was meant for us not to, get together. And I feel like it was meant for us to be friends, because the friendship that we had was fucking beautiful. And thanks to her, I actually passed my algebra that year, because if I'm gonna keep it real, if it was not for her, I would have failed that shit. I would have failed the fuck out of it, because it was not my strong point. It was not my strong point. And it was great. There were times when we would hang out. Hanging out as kids and hanging out as adults is not the same thing. So we would hang out as kids, you know what I mean? She would come through Crown Heights sometimes and shit like that. You know what I mean? Things like that. We would talk on the phone. We used to talk on the phone. This is the landline era. Bad people don't have a landline now, dog. I had a landline for like 4 years and could not remember the phone number. I used to have to, if I had to give somebody my landline number, I used to have to look inside my contact list. You know what I'm saying? I had my landline number as new crib. I could not fucking remember that shit. But even though we were friends, we would literally, people thought that she was my girl at the time because we used to always be together. We would meet up in the morning before we went to school. We would talk on the phone all fucking day. There was times on weekends she would be like, hey, listen, I'm gonna go downtown Brooklyn. Boom, 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 meet me in Fulton Mall. I jump on the train, go downtown Brooklyn, and we hanging out and shit like that. And which was great. That was a great era in my life. But there was a lot of pressure, you know what I'm saying? And there was a lot of pressure on that because she was fly as hell. And I was just, you know what I'm saying, this kid with braids and shit. And so we would be out and dudes would be looking like, I know that ain't him. You know what I'm saying? But I used to low key be trying to front like it was, you know what I mean? Like early teen shit, you know what I mean? I used to kind of front like it was. And I used to feel pressured sometimes because I used to be like, damn, yo, I would feel funny if we was out and in scenario where this never happened. But like, I used to say to myself, what if a dude came and tried to like bag it and you know what I mean? And try to like press her in front of me. It never happened. But these are the things I used to think of in my head. But that situation also taught me things too. This is why I say at a certain point when I got older, I basically found my quote unquote swag and got in my bag. Experiences like that, you know, leading up to my adulthood it also developed me, mentally developed me, emotionally developed me. So now, like if I was to meet a female, I come off a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So like I said in the beginning, being friend zoned in high school, it does not fucking count. This shit does not count. It was kind of like a pre-trial type thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was like the 10-day trial and shit. That shit expired, B. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so basically, I did get friend zoned as an adult. So basically, if you look at my record, I got one loss on the record. But the great thing about it, shorty that friend zoned me, we are great fucking friends. I know her kids, I know her mother. She knew my mom, she knew my kids and stuff like that. And she's a very, very beautiful woman that has a lot going on. When we first met, I don't want to say too much because there's people that, you know, mutual friends that know us, and I don't want them to pick up on it because, you know, people knows and shit. The receipts. Now, let me stop playing. But when we first met, we hit it off really good. Better than I actually thought we were going to hit it off. And the crazy thing, when I first met her, I was not attracted when I first met her. I thought she was very beautiful. I was like, damn, she could get it. But it wasn't on the lines of that. Like, I genuinely liked, you know, her presence. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has like a very special presence about her that's dope as hell. So when we first met, it wasn't on that. And I think it's one of those things where like you grow to like kind of like want to be more than friends with somebody, which I've never, up until before that had never happened to me in my adulthood. You know what I'm saying? So to genuinely like somebody at a certain point, it kind of pushes the attraction further. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, up until that point, that had never happened to me. So our friendship was great. Like, we would hang out, we would spend time together. There was times she would take me out, you know what I mean? And which that doesn't always happen for a lot of dudes. Okay, not to get off track. Listen, men, at a certain point, and all real women that's listening is gonna respect what I'm saying, because a lot of women won't respect that, but you're not a real woman. And I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. Listen, men, you gotta, the way women understand the value of themselves, y'all gotta do the same thing. You have to do the same thing. I've been in a situation where I was dating a girl, and I'm the one that paid for everything. It was never, none of that. It was never, she never said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take you out this weekend. None of that shit. If you're a man, you work hard, you got your shit together, you deserve that shit. You deserve that. Don't ever let a female tell you that you don't. You know, there's nothing wrong with a woman, you know, treating her man every now and then, taking him out. She want to pay for the movie. She want to pay for a dinner. She want to pick you up with just because gifts. Because men, we're expected to do that. And a lot of us men do shit like that. So if we do things like that, it should be reciprocated. It should be given back to us. And, you know, hanging out with somebody like that was just a friend that would do things like that for me. That shit had me like, damn, yo, she's a very special person. I started like low-key developing feelings, and I had kind of suppressed them for a point, because I really didn't. I had this fear of messing up our friendship. You know what I'm saying? Because relationships don't always last, but friendships tend to last longer or forever. Relationships with friendships always last longer than relationships. And being as though that we had a mutual respect for each other, it really, really pushed the narrative and made me say, you know what, boom, boom, boom. But her thing is she didn't want to mess up the friendship, which I totally respect, because a lot of guys that she knew up until then always tried to either get in her pants as soon as she met them, or they try to play the friend role for a month or two, then try to move on to that. And that wasn't my thing, because I genuinely loved spending time with her. And like we used to have really great outings. Like we used to call it our late night Brooklyn runs. You know what I'm saying? So we would catch like late movies downtown. We would go to pizza spots and shit, random shit. You know what I'm saying? Go by the water, things like that. And that's not something that you don't always meet a person like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, things like that, like if I'm a man, right, and I got one of my mans and we boys and shit, certain things like that you can't always do with your boys. Like, yeah, you can go out drinking with your mans, you go to the hookah lounge and shit, you can go to the strip club and things like that. But to have more of an intimate outing, that's not something us dudes, we don't always do shit like that. That's weird. That's something you do with a female. In my opinion, there's men out here that do shit like that. I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm hanging with my mans and shit, yo, what's good, son? Let's go get this Patron popping. Let's go to the strip club. Let's throw some money. That's the things we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Or even if you're just kicking it in the crib with your mans, y'all got music blasting, y'all playing cards, things like that. But to have, and you know what, also too, having a female friend, it changes your perspective on a lot of things. Because to sit with a woman that knows you, she knows your family, she knows your flaws, she knows the positive sides of you. For her to sit and critique you when you mess up, to still have love for you, but to really critique you and tell you, you know what, you're fucking up and this is why you're fucking up. That is a special type of person. You do not always find that shit with everybody. You don't. And I've learned in my later years in life, well, my most recent years in life, I used to always hide my feelings. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like showing emotion, and I didn't like people knowing how I really felt. And she's one of the few people that actually broke down that barrier. She's one of the few people that actually allowed me to feel like, you know what, I'm wrong, but I can still fix this. And to have somebody like that, that's a deep connection. You might, one of your mans might try to check you when you're wrong. You might, fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? If that's really your man's, you're going to listen. You might have a family member try to check you when you're wrong. You might not want to listen. But to have a person who is so deeply connected to you let you know what, you fucked up and this is why you fucked up. And they're going to let you know, I'm still riding for you, but I need you to fix this. You know what? That's some shit you don't want to mess up. So you know what? To be friend zoned and in the long run, it turned out how it turned out. It's actually a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Say if we did date, sex was great for a few years, one of us fucked up, things went bad, we couldn't stand each other, then what? We wouldn't even probably be talking right now. So when these situations happen, and say if you are friend zone, but it ends up being something like this, you have to be like, you know what? You have to be thankful. Or say if you did get friend zoned, but then something, the universe says, you know what? I'm going to break down that box that you guys are in, and I'm going to show you guys you are exactly what you need. Maybe you guys needed to be friends for all of those years to fully respect each other on a deeper level, or to fall in love on a deeper level. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but just imagine that. Imagine that, put it like this, right? Say if that friendship it's like the friendship was the seasoning, it was the food preparation, the oven been preheated, and then you put it in the oven and you bake that dish and it comes out and it's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Because we always look for perfect, but we don't always find perfect. So sometimes you got to ask yourself, is perfection a real thing? But how about it is? How about if you prepare everything right, you're going to reach perfection? You know what I'm saying? Because maybe you deserve that shit. Maybe she deserves that. So don't always fight the friend zone. You know what I'm saying? And look, don't laugh at me. I come with my man, y'all listen to this shit. Y'all probably gonna have jokes. Oh, you try to justify the friend zone. Nah, I'm keeping it so real with y'all, man. Maybe the friend zone is not a bad thing. Maybe it'll turn out great. Maybe it won't. Listen, maybe you'll get friend zone. Maybe you'll find somebody even better, 10 times better. Then you know what? Fuck it. It is what it is. But yeah, it's the boy Produk, man. This was episode 11 of the Life of Produk podcast. It's 2021, baby. Holla at your boy. Let's get it.